Packer 101, Baking Cloud Images Like a Pro. Hello cloud builders and code connoisseurs. Ever wondered how cloud images are made? Imagine Packer as your cloud kitchen, where you mix up ingredients, set the oven, and bake golden, reusable images. Whether you're deploying in Azure or OCI, Packer ensures your cloud environments are deliciously identical every time. The recipe for perfect Packer images. Like baking, Packer uses structured steps. Variables are your choice of ingredients, defining user inputs, cloud settings, or environment variables. Sources are like preheating the oven, configuring the base image and cloud provider settings. Build is mixing and baking, executing the build steps for the image. Provisioners are adding frosting and sprinkles, installing software, running scripts, and configuring settings. Post-processors are wrapping it up, compressing, uploading, or registering images for later use. Let's unlock the power of code and build the future of infrastructure, together. From ingredients to the perfect bake, understanding Packer's workflow. Before we dive into the step-by-step breakdown of Packer, let's set the stage. Imagine you're a master pastry chef and your goal is to bake the perfect cloud image. Just like in baking, you need a recipe, an oven, toppings, and packaging. Packer follows this exact logic but for cloud infrastructure. Instead of flour and sugar, you're working with operating systems, cloud providers, and automation scripts. Now let's break down Packer's image building process into 5 delicious steps. Variables, picking your ingredients. Think of variables as your recipe choices. You can bake vanilla today and chocolate tomorrow. Set defaults, but override them on the fly. Store API keys and secrets securely as environment variables. Pro tip, keep reusable variables in variables.pkr.hcl so you can switch flavors, configs anytime. Sources, setting up the oven. Defines the cloud provider oven you'll bake in. Azure, OCI, AWS, or even vSphere. Multi-cloud ready. Pre-configures VM type, OS, and image SKU. Pro tip, use different ovens, cloud providers, for the same base image. Bake once, deploy everywhere. Build the mixing and baking process. Runs the baking process, orchestrating everything. Works across multiple cloud providers simultaneously. Executes provisioners to fine-tune the final image. Pro tip, use sources to define multiple clouds. Packer can bake an Azure image and an OCI image in the same run. Provisioners, adding frosting and sprinkles. Installs additional software like security patches and development tools. Supports Shell, PowerShell, Ansible, Chef, and Puppet. Think of it as decorating your cake. Packer bakes it, but you add the flavors. Pro tip, if you're using Terraform after Packer, avoid heavy provisioning here. Let Terraform handle app-specific setups later. Post-processors, wrapping and delivering. Uploads the final image to a cloud image registry. Compresses or tags images for easy deployment. Think of it as putting fresh cookies in a tin, ready to ship. Pro tip, use post-processor manifest to track image builds across multi-cloud environments. Thanks for tuning in. Coming up next issue, we'll turn these Packer blocks into real Azure and OCI images with automation. Stay tuned for best practices, deployment tricks, and fun experiments. Until then, keep stacking those blocks. Cloud Pastry Chef at Talk Nerdy to Me.